Hello everyone, Matty here to give my thoughts on Bristol Rovers' current transfer window and how the signings and sellings have been going. What I do like about Ben Garner's approach is he wants to get promotion to the Championship, and the ambition is there. Not that it wasn't there with Ollie Clark or Graham Coughlin, but I think it's here more with Ben Garner. And what he's also done with that is he got rid of the players that he didn't think was good enough. So like Tom Nichols, Gavin Riley, just to name a few, Ollie Clark, Roland Meneyese. There was quite a lot of players. And he thought, if you're on, he thought, I'm not going to hang about to wait for you to get as good as I want to be in such a short space of time. If you're not good enough, you're gone. And Tom Nichols has been a big example of that. Gavin Riley, I do like him more than Tom Nichols, but even he hasn't scored as many goals as you would expect for a striker. Ollie Clark, he was declining a bit. And as for some of the signings, I'm liking them so far. I say so far because we haven't really seen them in action for Bristol Rovers due to COVID-19. Jack Baldwin, Max Elmer, sorry if I've said that wrong, I should have checked that, but they're excellent signings. Very well established League One centre backs. Josh Grant, another defender that Bristol Rovers have signed. You can also play at right back. So if same happens last season where both of our right backs, Josh Hare and Mark Little, got injured. And if that is the case again this season, then Josh Grant can just slot back in that right back position. And then we've got Jonah and Yaga. I think was how you pronounce his name. Another striker. I don't know too much about him on like what his ability is, but Ben Garner obviously rates him, and I think it's good to increase our depth in strikers along with Johnson Clark Harris. Sam Nicholson, a Scottish signing from the MLS. There's also a left-footed player, which I'll get onto left-footed players in general afterwards. Again, I think whilst I don't know too much about him, I think he can be commendable. And what I've picked up through a lot of these signings is that they like what the philosophy that Ben Garner is bringing to the club, and it's an appealing factor for them. And I think seeing as our signings have got bigger compared to some of the last few transfer windows, I think we're in more of a position where we can aim for the bigger players. I don't think any of us thought under Graham Coughlin or the January transfer window under Ben Garner that we were going to sign Max Elmer, Jack Baldwin, for example. Also, another player we brought in recently was Zayn Westbrook. He was a player who didn't get as much game time, not on a regular basis for Coventry, but he scored some important goals for them to help get Coventry promoted. And he's come to Bristol Rovers in order to have regular game time. Coventry fans are. Coventry fans are rate him very highly. Sad to see him go. Which is what they think. Bristol Rovers made quite a few signings. I think. Is there anything else that's needed? Not much. I don't think we need to overload the amount of transfers, because you've seen it before with Fulham. That resulted in them getting relegated from the Premier League. Aston Villa nearly happened, and even with Bristol Rovers in 2011-12 season, when Paul Buckle was in charge, brought in a lot of signings, and by I think it was about October time, we were going backwards as a club, and with relegation to the National League being a hint, which it wasn't until a few years later, but even so. I think one thing I haven't really been seeing from some of these transfers, Sam Nicholson was one of the exceptions, but I find that, especially with centre-backs, the ones we're signing aren't left-footed players, which I think having that in centre-back and centre midfield, it allows us something different. It gives us another option. And we have that with Ollie Clark, and in central defence we have that with Tony Craig, Ryan Sweeney, Tom Broadbent. I think that what I think is, it's not really an urgent thing, but I think it does give us it gives another option of something different. And even though Bristol Rovers have Kean Harries in defence, I don't imagine he's going to be playing, because he wasn't getting too much game time when he was there last season. From what I recall, he came on as a substitute against Sunderland after Bristol Rovers were 2 or 3 goals down, and a man down too. I also believe that, I think the reason I think he's going to not be a first choice player is there's Max Elmer, Jack Baldwin, Alfie Kilgore, who was one of the best players of Bristol Rovers last season. And also, I think that Ben Garner will play a back four, because he's more of an attacking-minded player. And after the transfer window, he went 4-3-3 based. It's not also a big deal, but as I said, it's not a big deal. One signing I do think is needed is another winger. Probably right. It can be either winger, because Sam Nicholson can play on either side, though his main position is a left winger, and we'll probably get the best out of him more if we play him on the left and then bring in a right winger. Or we could even bring in a winger that can play both, and it gives us that option. But yeah, I think a winger of any sort is needed in the club, because what we do have, Alex Rodman, who's ageing, and I think he's at the stage where he's becoming more of a right back than a right centre midfield than a right midfielder. Kyle Bennett is at a stage where he wants to leave the club, so I don't think we should really be looking at him in the long term. And then I think also Josh Barrett, which I'm not sure. Maybe he can improve, but I think that would still leave us with a small depth of players. And Josh Barrett didn't set a lot of fans alight, so I think another winger is needed. As for some of the departures, some of the other ones, Ollie Clark, I think, good luck to him. He's been a brilliant servant for the club. Meneyese, fans were sad to see him go, but given the amount of signings, there are two big centre-back signings, well, three in fact, Josh Grant, I've just remembered, and Alfie Kilgore, who are also all four right-footed centre-backs. I think Meneyese had to go as he was pretty much inferior to the lot of them. Taking in all these transfers, do I think Bristol Rovers are going to go up? It's hard to say, to be honest, because Hull are there, Wigan potentially are there, Charlton are there, some of the others, Portsmouth, maybe Oxford, if they, I think they'll want to push again for promotion. And also, I don't know too much about the other clubs' transfer bargoes and what they have and like what sort of benefits they're getting in preparing for the season. So on that front, it's kind of hard to say if Bristol Rovers will beat the lot of them and be either promoted or promoted via the playoffs, or even just in the playoffs. But I think this change of squad will definitely help Bristol Rovers push up the league a bit. And if it means playing... I just had a bit of spider webbing on my chins. But I think even if it doesn't get us promoted, I think what it will do is push us forward as a club. I'm seeing positive signs in this transfer window. If there's any players I've missed or anything else you want me to speak about, let me know in the comments and I can respond and let you know my thoughts. Any questions or any views of your own you'd like to share, do post that down. I'd love to read your thoughts. You've heard mine. I'm going to sign off.